I'm not here for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I just wanted to give you a brief overview. Today you're going to be doing an ed puzzle about atoms and biomolecules. That means that there's going to be stuff for lesson 5. Tomorrow and Wednesday you're going to be doing a biomolecule presentation. That is an assessment grade that's due Thursday. I'm going to go over a little bit of that presentation, basically just where is the rubric and where do you turn it in. And then Friday you have a quiz. And that quiz is going to be part, like everything we've talked about since last Tuesday, and part ACT. The ACT part I'm going to grade, but I'm not going to put it in the grade book. This is just going to be a marker of like wherever you're at for ACT. And then on March 24th, you're going to be taking another one. And we're just going to use this score kind of as where you're starting. And then hopefully you grow when we do it the next time. Okay, so don't freak out about that ACT portion. But if you have any questions, we can talk whenever I get back, or you can text me, email, whatever you would like. All right, so let's get started. So you know that you're watching Ed Puzzle Atoms and Biomolecules. That's what this is. We are going to be looking at the atoms and their bonds in biomolecules. All right, so the first thing that we need to go over is basically just what are the 4 biomolecules. Make sure that as I am typing, well, as I'm writing, you're going to be typing this into your document, okay? There are 4 biomolecules. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Okay, there are 4 biomolecules. There are carbohydrates. These are like sugars. So this is in candy, pasta, bread, all that fun stuff. There's proteins. This is what's in like meats and beans. There's lipids. Those are fats. That's in avocado. That's in milk, yogurt. And then there's also nucleic acids. And that's like DNA and RNA. Okay. So those are my 4 biomolecules. Now these are basically the molecules of life. All right. So we not only need to know what they are, but we also need to know like what they look like from a molecular perspective. Okay. So we went over a bunch of atoms on Friday. Today we're going to be looking at those atoms, and we're also going to be looking at how they're connected. Okay. So all a covalent bond is, so a covalent bond is a connection between atoms where they are sharing electrons. Okay, so basically in order for an atom to be stable, it needs to have a certain amount of electrons. And when that doesn't happen, they end up sharing with each other because they're so nice. All right. So we want to be able to identify a covalent bond and then count how many they are, okay? So anytime that you see a line like this, that means that there are 2 electrons that are shared, okay? This line represents a covalent bond, okay? This molecule should be super familiar to it. I have 2 H's and an O, so that's 2 hydrogen atoms and an oxygen. That means that it's H2O. So what you're looking at here are water molecules. And I just wanted to show you a couple of different pictures just so that you kind of know what to look like. If you look at this second picture, you have a covalent bond, but then you have a hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond is kind of like an attraction, but it's represented by this dashed line. That's not a covalent bond. Covalent bonds look like solid lines, okay? In this water molecule that we looked up here, I don't know what that was, but this is indicating that water molecule, I only have 2 bonds, 1, 2 bonds, okay? Now, if I look at this is actually carbon dioxide. So I have a carbon molecule, 2 oxygen. If I look here, this is called a double bond. Okay, that means that there are 2 covalent bonds here. Altogether, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 covalent bonds in this molecule. Okay, So covalent bonds is just how atoms share electrons to be stable. And then you want to be able to identify the covalent bonds. All right, let's go to the next page. Okay, so part of the reason that we're doing this is because we need to know the molecular structure of all 4 biomolecules. Okay, so we're going to do one of these examples together, and then you're going to be able to do it on your own. Okay, we are going to look specifically at a carbohydrate. So in each example, it's going to tell you what biomolecule you're looking at. And then you're going to identify the different atoms and symbols, and then you're going to tell me how many covalent bonds there are. So this kind of looks a little foreign, I know. This is actually 2 glucose molecules bonded together. Glucose are like sugar. So remember, carbohydrates are sugar. These are 2 sugar molecules bonded. But right now, I'm interested in the different atoms, okay? And I can tell that by the letters. So I see a C, okay? So I would write C, and that is carbon. So make sure you're telling me the symbol that was C and the name of it. I see C. I also see an H. Okay, remember H is hydrogen. And then the last letter that I see is O, and O stands for oxygen. Okay, so I know that there are multiple C's and multiple H's and multiple O's. I just need to write it once and then I'm good. Okay, so I have 3 different atoms in a carbohydrate: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Now, how many covalent bonds? Whew. All right, so this means that I'm just going to connect the lines that I see. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I see 21 covalent bonds. And I know that sometimes this looks a little darker. This is just how they draw the molecules. It's still just representing 1 covalent bond, so don't worry about that. Okay. 2 more things that we're going to do. 1, I'm going to go over what you're responsible for the rest of today. And then I'm going to go over your presentation that you're going to be doing tomorrow and Wednesday, just so that you're clear, okay? For the rest of today, you're doing the same thing that we just did in terms of identifying the atoms and covalent bonds you see in a lipid. This is another lipid. This is a steroid, in a protein, and in a nucleic acid, okay? So that's what you need to finish by the end of today. Tomorrow, make sure you do your do now, and then you're going to start the biomolecules presentation. So your rubric for this looks like this. You want to make sure that your overall look is neat and organized. There's no typos, okay? There's some pictures, there's some text. Works cited, you're going to have at least 4 sources. You are going to put the article webpage name and the link. And then you're going to, for each carbs, lipids, proteins, nucleic acids, you're going to put the name of the biomolecule. Remember, biomolecule could be a carb, lipid, protein, nucleic acid. You're going to put the picture of the molecular structure. So your pictures, don't make it the same as mine, but your pictures are going to look like these right here. Okay? In Google, like, you can even just search molecular structure of whatever biomolecule, and then you'll get some pictures. Okay. You're going to include the name of the atoms in the molecular structure. We just went over how to do that, but you're going to put it on your presentation, and then you're going to put at least 3 foods that contain the biomolecule, right? So like a candy bar contains carbohydrates, so you can write that food, you can put pictures of the food. Please don't use candy bar as an example because I just gave you that for free. Find something else, okay? Finally, you are going to include the common atoms and the different atoms. That means what atoms do all of the biomolecules have in common, and then what atoms are different. So let's say Well, you can include, well, proteins have this type of atom, but carbs and lipids don't. Or nucleic acids have this atom, but carbs, lipids, and proteins don't have this atom. So that's what that last slide is. Okay. This is by the end of Tuesday, you should have completed the carbs, lipids, and protein section because Wednesday is going to be a really short day. On Wednesday, you just want to make sure it looks neat, finish up nucleic acids, common different atoms, and then move on, okay? But Wednesday, make sure that you complete that check. You have the work time, blah, blah, blah. Lastly, I want to show you where you are doing this, okay? So, let me refresh this, sorry. I'm sorry this video is so long. Thank you for being patient with me while why is this taking forever to upload? It's going to happen. When this eventually comes up, there's going to be an assignment that's called Biomolecules Presentation. On that, I've already included the rubric. I've included the template. Here it is. Okay, new assignment, Biomolecules Presentation. When you click on it, it made your own copy of it. It has the rubric, and then it has everything that you need to have on each slide. Don't forget about that works cited. So just make sure that this is turned in by Thursday at the beginning of class, but the biomolecules presentation, this is where you're going to be turning it in and making everything, okay? I know that was a lot. I'm sorry. Please email me, text me, whatever you need if you have any questions at all. And I look forward to seeing you on Thursday and looking at your presentations.